Welcome to episode 6 of this Let's Play series. We are playing Shadow Empire. My name is Daz Tactic. Welcome to the channel. You'll sort of find that one of the things, if you do look back, you'll notice that the farmland is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. At the start of the last episode, I'm pretty sure it was only up around in here somewhere, but it's now sort of extending even further out into these plains, which is just interesting to sort of see this actually change. As the farm in here, it's this farm actually underneath here, this one here, this farm 3, is just growing. They're getting more and more land for the actual farm itself, and that will keep on going. It will sort of eventually hit its like largest area, but this is essentially what does happen with the Terran farms, not with the dome farms that we actually have in through here. We've got an agrodome back in through this side, but the Terran farms use a lot more water, but they do actually then start to change the landscape, which, as I say, is quite interesting to sort of see that actually happen. Now, in the last episode, we tried our blitzkrieg across these rivers and then sort of failed right at the very, very end. A bit of a shame, actually. I mean, I should have shown actually how the game sort of handles its combat. Now, we've got a few different areas in here. They'll try to sort of squeeze us out of different zones. We've got enough forces here now to sort of be able to hold on and do what we need to do. So I think that one's actually okay. We may be able to start to push some of these into becoming the better forces, but let's not worry too much about that one. We've got enough at this point in time. This road becomes all important. We don't want to have it cut off from the tanks, and we do need to get across this road to then get into Altona, which is the name of the city. Okay, let's just end our turn here. We've done everything we really should or can do. In fact, we have a quick look. What are we building? Not building much, actually, when we have a look at this. We're not building anything ourselves. If we go to construct, what else could we possibly get that's not going to be too expensive? The High Command is actually something we could get that's not too expensive. We are going backwards now a little bit with our energy. We have to be a bit careful of that. If we go to logistics and have a bit of a look to see, sometimes we can get like no, there's nothing there where we can sort of get to store more energy. Like at the moment, we've got, what's that, 20 turns. Yeah, 20 times 20 is about 400. So we've got about 20 turns worth of fuel at this stage. If I then go back and build this one here to drain another 40, that's going to be 60 turns, which means I'm going to have very limited. Whereas if I go to the energy, which is going to take 2 rounds to build, which I could almost do, that'll then give me 300 power. That will just give me an extra 100 on top of what we're currently. No, it'll give me an extra 200 on top of what we've currently got. If you're unsure, just have a look. Produces 100, produces 300. So that wouldn't be bad actually to grab that one. It's only 700 workers for that. I do have to be careful of this. Look, I think I can get that in how long? I can get that in 2 turns. If I go for if it's 60 coming back down, maybe be okay. Let's just go for this one here. We'll get this one first. Let's just start that upgrade. That way we can sort of get more political points, as well as getting more of the bureaucratic points, the all-important bureaucratic points. So let's end our turn. I've just got to keep thumping away at getting the infrastructure set up. It really is it's the secret to playing the game effectively. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone attacks this supply line. I've sort of put this one here because I'm a bit worried about this guy. Yeah, they're trying to get into where they can put pressure. Now, we don't want to be running away. This is great. We did very, very well there. This is where the AI in this game is actually very, very, very good. And I know that a lot of people think, the AI cheats because it does blah, blah, blah. It's when you really look at it in depth, it's really, really cool the way it actually does work. And when you know how the AI works, and you can then sort of work around that, it's not really the drama that people sort of see. Like people sort of think, the AI can just build roads anywhere it likes. The AI doesn't get starved out, and that's true. But it also then has you have other benefits as well. Like if you build up your group enough, there's an ecological station. It's not bad actually. We might grab that, I think. Yeah, there's a recruit. There's an increase income tax, and the sales tax we've already done enough of. We have another quick look at that where we are with the Treasury cash flows. We can see we're at 20%. One more and we'll be right on where we need to be. Now, the money is still going backwards at this point in time. We're not really getting good income. We're getting 87 credits of revenue and we've got 219 credits of expenses at this point in time, which I won't worry too much about that just yet. Yeah, the workers' salaries, but that's okay. We'll be fine. So, strat cards, nation. We'll go and increase the income tax. Now, this is a difficulty 70, so we may not get this one with the die roll.
Yes.
Oh, we got it. Okay, so what do we roll? We rolled 81. That's good. Done. And we've got increased sales tax as well. Now, did I want to do that one? I don't know if I did. No, sales tax is already 50%. That's enough. You can see we don't really get anything from sales tax anyway, to be honest. It's not really a big deal. It's if we sort of if the private sector sells things through through to the God, I'm tongue-tied, through to the traders. Now, we may sort of end up, I think the next council will be the Economic Council, and so we'll sort of see if that's sort of going to be viable. Now, should we be getting close before we actually need to do that one? Got a new demand that the bureaucratic assets reach at least 5 levels. Now, we're actually building that one right now, so not a problem. We're going to get that one done very, very soon. I think we had another one that we were supposed to do, Incident with Boldness. I'm just going to ignore his actions.
Roger that.
And Militia Commemorative Plaque. Now, they would like it to be extra special. But I think we'll just go yes.
Roger that.
Just leave it where that is. That'll be okay. Just the money is not great at the moment, so we do need to sort of be mindful of that. So they tried to put pressure on this little area. You can see there that the actual AI has now tried pretty hard to do that. These guys are still not fantastic. And we have to be careful because we are actually opening everything right up now so they could actually take this area. So we need to now move back into there just to stop that from actually happening. Now, what's our readiness like? 61, really not good enough. 63, that's terrible. And so we need to just sit where we are and just weather this a little bit longer. Now that we've got the combat armor guys, they're not going to be, these just are really going to struggle against the troops that we actually have running through here. So we've got some very, very good troops. Might even move that one around as well. Let's just move that one back up a little bit. All right. All right. So we've got those now where they are. God, this is big. That's a big issue there. Okay, so we'll have to swing back around to destroy this one when we can. I'm going to need more forces, actually. That's one of the things we are going to be needing. Let's have a quick look at a few of the other things that we can sort of see through the reports. Now, if I just go back up to the overviews and to the top with the Empire dashboard, because you tend to sort of start through here. One thing we want to be looking at is just sort of how we're going with everything in through this side. The high-speed machine gun is at 81%. That's good, so we should have that maybe next turn, I would think. The model, the Discover model, at this point in time, you can see there that even though we've split it up certain ways, the Discovery, everything is going back into Discovery at this point in time. And so the investment is now at 160 BP, which is fine. We've sort of been there for a turn or so. As soon as we get the high-speed machine gun, we'll start to then go and get some armoured cars. So we'll sort of redesign those to make them more viable and start to implement a few of those as well. Discovery is investing into Discovery. So it's got the research has got 184 BP being put into the actual research itself. Now that won't be optimal, but it'll be okay. The Discovery is running at 62. You sort of want to keep it at about 100, to be honest. And so this is actually not going to be this is actually this is more than what we can actually really deal with. But if we can get another council, what I might do is I might actually ask for my next council straight away. And we know that we've got some pretty crap leaders, sitting around back in the pool here. Like we've got a Cap 2, a cap 2 back in through here, but they don't really have any good skills. So I think what we might do is go and recruit one more character and just sort of see what they've got. Actually, we'll just go back to the map, sorry. Strat card, and we'll go and get the senior from here. So we'll go and execute that stratagem. So we've now got a senior, and usually the seniors will have a good skill set. Even if they've got like low numbers, they'll still be reasonable to sort of plug the gap until we can find somebody else. And it may be that we shuffle people around, but I don't think we've got anyone really strong enough to go into any particular area. We'll just go back to the management screens again, go back to leaders. And so Ishmael is, nope, we've got one more screen now through here, only a cap 2, unfortunately. And this is Michael Zirkenfield. And so if we have a look and see what he's got, he's a cap 2, but with very, very high intelligence. And mainly investigation. And interrogation. So he's sort of not really... He's got good high command skills there as well. He's a bit beyond what you sort of expect out of a lot of others. Interesting. Because what I really do want to get now is an economic council, and he's not great, but I think I'll throw him into that role. Let's just go across. There's no one else really that's going to be sort of suitable. Actually, that's one thing we were going to do. We were going to go and get in the zones. Which one was it? The ecological station.
Affirmative.
So we'll execute that one there. And we actually have the gladiators as well. This will actually give me even more quality of life in that particular zone. I don't know if I can do that one. No, I can't do that one. The zone already has one of these, that security outpost. But let's just go and get gladiators.
Affirmative.
And so if we have another look now at Bismarck itself and go and have a look at its assets, we'll then sort of see, actually, well, there's the ecological station back in through here. This is going to give us 100 education points, which is fantastic. Again, it's just going to really raise Bismarck into being quite an exceptional location for people. You can see we're sort of running out of workers as well, which is actually, no, that's being impacted by the lack of industrial points, but that'll be okay. We've got 3.1 turns left, so basically 4 turns left before we can do anything with that one. Back this way, what else do we need to have a look at? We've now got the, where are we? Should be the arena. The arena 2 now is going to give us 100 entertainment points as well. So that's all good stuff. This is all quality of life that we then have added into the mix of what we're actually doing. We're starting to now pick up a little bit of industrial points back this way. I would like to get another faction, another group, but I think I need more than 106. Like, just to test that, let's just go and click on this one as an example, and we'll just go across and we'll raise a formation with OHQ, brigade level. You can see there we're not quite enough to build a machine gun or we need this over 50%. And so if we have a look at this one, we need 218, so we're not quite enough. So we'll cancel that one, we'll just let it keep on building what it's building and build these up. So there's nothing much for us to do this turn. We'll just end our turn again. Now they'll try to cut us off yet again, I would think. Like this sort of, we've just got to make sure that this road is nicely protected all the way through. If they can cut us off, it means that they can then starve us out. Here they go. They're trying to now hit the road this way. Very, very clever. Very clever. And the beast is now attacking as well, but it lost a lot in that attack because we've got the armour. Killed 900 infantry. Great. We didn't lose anything ourselves. So elections have now been held. We've now got the high-speed machine gun. So now we have a whole range of other things we can now go and produce. We also discovered motorbike infantry. So we don't have to call the Model Design Council. She will actually come in and be available then for us. Actually, I forgot to ask for the next council. I'll do that now. Problem, unit with low supply. Yep, I know where that is. It's been tied off and through here, but there's no one in here, so I can move up into there and then it'll become supplied again. Dismiss that one. and increase worker happiness in Bismarck. They'll come good. They'll come good. Gold, more bureaucratic. Yep, so we did make that promise, which we're going to be getting very, very soon. So they've now almost broken through here. Now, are we ready yet? 87%. I'm sort of half happy with that. Now, if we move across to there, we don't really know what's across that river. I'll just cancel that one for 1 second. Now, when we move across, this is going to become a bit of a tricky situation ultimately. But let's just go through the bits and pieces. Let's have a quick look at the decisions. We do actually have org decisions, which is the military research. Yep, so the Military Research Council task priorities. Now, at the moment, we've got mainly doing research and doing discovery. I'm going to now flick this one back a little bit to maybe sort of like a 60-40, because now I need it to be going back to more of a discovery. We've now got the three things that we wanted: combat armour, high-speed machine guns, and we also got the side skirts. So we need them to find more stuff. Might even go 65-35. There we go, confirm that one. So that's actually came through at the right, it's requested. You can always go back and just contact these guys to say, hey, I need something else. Guided RPG would be the next one. We haven't seen any radiation, so that's not really a factor on this planet. So we don't really need those. The Model Design Council. Now, I think we actually go for the recon buggies. I can see these being quite useful. So we'll start development in here. Now, the crossbilly, before we do that, I always just wanted to have a quick look at the models. And we'll go back now and have a look at the buggies back in through here, and we have a look at the design cost. 95, not great, but it's not bad either. We haven't got any field testing done at all anyway. I think we go for a new design and then we just do an evaluation at that point. It may be lower. We've been lucky so far with the infantry that we got. Like, we sort of, when we have a look at the infantry, we ended up with 108, as opposed to 93. The buggies, it won't make that much difference. It won't make that much, but and then I've got no rush. I'm in no rush, so I might as well just try. I'll try for a new model, and if this one fails badly, I'll then just go back and redesign the crossbillies. So we'll see how we go. So the recon buggy. Now we're going to start make a brand new design back up into here and hope that we get something good. We've just got our high-speed machine gun, so we've got 300 firepower as opposed to the advanced machine gun with 200 firepower. And we now want to go, we don't want to get the 50mm because that's going to make it 200 weight. I can get 100 weight in through here. That'll give me a total weight at this point in time of 140. And so 25 is enough for us to be able to hold back the bullets, the standard bullets. 50 is going to be even more powerful, but I think 25 will be sort of what we want with these sorts of things. What we're looking for is something that's going to be fairly fuel efficient and got some survivability without being, too survivable. So we'll start with 25. And in this case, we really don't want to be going much more than even just the light. If we go for the light diesel, if we have a look at the weights, we can actually do better in this one here than what we actually had before. In fact, if I cancel this one, let's just go and I'll show you the actual base one that the game builds, and I think that this will have to be changed at some point in the game because it's actually really, really inefficient. If we build on the crossbilly, they've got an advanced machine gun. Let's have a look and see what they actually end up getting. Advanced machine gun with 5mm steel plating. This thing weighs practically nothing, 60 total weight, and yet it's using a medium diesel engine. So it's using 300 engine power to drive 120 total weight. Now, ideally, you want the engine power to be a little bit above the actual weight, but not by that much. Like if it was over here, this one here would still be double just by using a light engine with 0.1 fuel use instead of 0.5. So that's 5 times the fuel use of this one, and this one is 10 times the fuel use. And so we want this essentially, but I need more than just the 5. I need the 25 to like the armor, just for the survivability of it. So we're going to start a new one in through here. We're going to go with a high-speed machine gun to get you extra power, 25, and we just go light. And this way we're still over, the engine power is actually over the total weight,
Order acknowledged.
which makes it a reasonable design. And so national budget allocations, we've got military, model, interior. Now I do want to talk to the Interior Council as well. I'll just confirm that. I'll just leave that one where that is. And we will go and now talk to the Interior Council, because what I want to have happen here is I want to have the, I want to change, we've now got our taxation under control. So Giggins, we can come back through it. And Giggins is someone that we probably do want to be moving around into somewhere else at some point. So let's go and call, and we want to be talking about the priorities. Because he brings in cards for us to then make use of. And so what I want to do is I want to lock this in at 1%. I no longer need this one. I'm just going to keep this one thumping in at, say, 1% as well, which then allows me to have 49 for the interior policies and the human resources. So this is how we get our seniors, et cetera, in through here. We may sort of end up, look, that's good enough. Just splitting those two like this one here is confirmed. That means we're going to get more cards, the sorts of cards that we want. So we'll leave that one where that is. This has now come right down because of the attack on these guys in through here. Again, we're looking at the 87. That's close enough. Let's go this way. Now, what have they got in there? They haven't got much in there. We've got recon. You know, that's actually not bad. It's 6 to 1. I think we go for it. We go to negative 80 here. I mean, we failed last time, but then they've got less people in here this time. Let's try it, because I'm confident that we've now got vision. We've got good vision on this particular location. You can see there that the recon points are 44, which is sort of what we want. If I just go and cancel that one for 1 second and have another look. So we've got 44 recon. Now, minimum recon for unit info is 40. Now, there's probably still going to be some hidden units in the 3 units that are in there. So there's going to be some sort of problem in there. And that negative 80 with crossing this river. What I might do is I might sort of show how this actually does work, because the battles are really quite interesting. So let's do a deep dive into this particular battle just using these 2 tanks, and we can then sort of talk about everything that's actually going on. Now, we'll talk about our units to start with. We've just moved one in. We've got 85 readiness back with this one through here, and 103 action points, which basically means 10 turns of attacks. The other one that's actually under there as well has still got the 5 old blitzers that were there. This one's got 90 readiness with 140. So this one's got 14 attacks. And so when we go into the attack, if it does take any sort of length of time, they will then sort of work. Now, we can do a few other things as well. I can bring this unit in and just test the water. Like, we could actually sort of try to get rid of all the surprises by raising the recon by doing another attack. And I think we might do that. Let's just go and bring this unit in and start the process of attacking. Sometimes it's useful just to send one unit in as a bit of a sacrifice, just to sort of see how things are going to go. Now, this one here, if we send that one in, it's even got positive odds in through this side. But the idea is that we then change the recon points. By bringing that one across, we've now got up to 52. And we've got a fair few action points, which are indicated by these dots in through this side. We can see there that it crossing the river is a minus 60. So it's got the river modifier of the hit points for attacking over it for riflemen is negative 60%. But for the others, if we go back and cancel this one and have a quick look at this location, and then just have a look at the agricultural area back and through here, we can see there that we've got where is it? River crossing. You can see there minus 60% right at the very, very top of the troop type. It's got the river crossing is minus 60%. Guns is minus 60%. Motorised and tanks is minus 80%. Walkers are actually pretty reasonable there at minus 40%. So they're the best ones at crossing rivers. And these are major rivers that we're looking at in through this particular side. If we have a look at this one over here, which is also a major, there's a minor there, minor river running through that side. If we have a look at this one in through here, we can see there that the numbers are very, very different because we're only looking at a medium river. In fact, it's got rivers present, medium river. So north and northwest is essentially where those rivers actually are running. This one as well, if we hover that one there, we'll sort of see that we've got rivers running as well, just a medium river running through that side. But in this location, when we hover over there, and it goes through the zone name, which is unknown. The roads present is dirt road. The rivers present, we've got an extra large river and that's actually why it's so difficult. Location present is a city agricultural, level 3, and so it's got VP equals 5. I'm not sure how that actually impacts the game, to be honest. Recon points 52 at this point in time. Minimum recon for unit information is 40. Minimum recon for full unit information is 400. Now there may be more in here than we think, so we may be better off attacking into this group and actually destroying this one. But let's just try this. So we want to get the recon up. Now, if we had aircraft, we could use the aircraft to do this, to sort of just like to strafe the city first. Now, the other thing that's going to happen when I click on this one and have a look at this one, we've got all these different modifiers. Now, the modifiers sort of are presented all in one big linear list, but it actually is all a little bit different. And so what it is we end up with the important things are these numbers here and these numbers here. In fact, the only really important one here is the sum of all of the different offensive powers. So this is modified offensive power, and this is the modified defensive power in through this side. And so we've got, just with this one unit, we've got a modified offensive power of what we know in here of 121. If there's more units, and I'm sure there will be more units than what we see through here, this number will then start to get higher and higher. And we can see all the different modifiers that then lead to this particular number. So this last number is the all-important one. These are the unmodified, like this is the offensive power when you take into account most of the stuff except for the cumulative power in through here. These are all the estimated modifiers multiplied with each other. So it's all of these things preceding. Then we actually have the actual offensive power, rough estimate of the offensive value of the forces, which is to do with the actual unit itself. If we just go and cancel that one and have a quick look at the actual unit, this all comes down to the level of the rifleman, what their sort of abilities are, etc., with the actual attacks that they actually have. So that's how it's just got a rough estimate coming from that particular unit as to just how strong it actually is in combat power. If we just go back again, sorry, just right click. And so then it just goes like these other things preceding it are actually all of the modifiers. So negative 60% to cross the river, minus 10% with the readiness because our readiness is a bit lower. The modifier hit points is down a little bit. We actually then have an experience modifier. So these actually have got some experience. So they've got a plus 38%. And similarly with the hit points back and through there as well. This is experience modifier on hit points. Then we also then have the estimated leader skills from both the OHQ and the operational HQ. So the Supreme Headquarters and the operational HQ. So so when you add all of those things together, you then end up with negative 25% overall because we're attacking from across this big river. If we didn't have to attack across this big river, we'd actually have a net positive. On the other side, though, what they've got is actually they've dug in at 57%. They've dug in because they're actually they're only in agricultural land. They're not even in ruins. If they were in ruins, like down in through here, for example, that would be a much more difficult prospect because they'd be able to dig in even better. So their digging in is only 57%. Their entrenchment. Their readiness is -1. Their experience is plus 20. So our guys are slightly more experienced. They do actually have a maximum attack saturation modifier. So this modifier turns negative if you're committing to too much firepower on too little quantity of targets. So for radio militia, it's -5. Not much. It's not going to really do much at all. Because we're playing on hard difficulty, there's a plus 10% that the AI gets for this particular attack. We have a caliber matrix modifier for attack values. This is important. They're now going up against combat armor, and the bullets that they're firing aren't good enough to really break through the combat armor. They're going to need some luck to get kills. They can get hits, but they may not get kills. And so they've got a -45% here to reflect how weak their combat power actually is against the combat armor that our guys are actually using. Again, it's really intricate the way the game actually figures all these things out, and you don't really have to know this, but it does help. Then we have the sum of all the parts. They've got a net result of plus 27%. You'll notice that the crossing of the river impacts what we do. That doesn't impact anything to do with their defence. It's just attacking across the river is a negative for us. Then we actually have a defensive power of 66, and then plus 27% gives them an 84. So that's basically, it's 121 versus 84, which is the 1.4 odds. That's sort of how it then actually goes and works. Let's do the attack. We know that this isn't actually, like, you generally you want an 8-to-1 odds before you can really sort of do a full-on attack, where you can sort of really relate to it. So usually an 8-to-1 is going to be okay. The fact that we've got this, though, in fact, let's just cancel it for 1 second. If we just go and take one of the tanks and go across in here, you'll notice that it's got a negative 18 in this instance. So the caliber required is, this is the old tanks. If we go to the new tanks and have a look and see what that's doing, this has got the old combat of 25 millimeter, I think. We cancel this one and then have a look at the more upgraded tanks. We've got 3 of the new blitzers. And go back in, you can see they're negative 47. So it just shows you the difference with the different sorts of armour. Now, at 25 millimetre, it's 50-50 really. That's why we lost those tanks before. So let's just go in and we'll start with just this unit here. The main goal here is to raise the recon points. We want to stay in the fight pretty much. So let's just go across and attack.
Yes, sir. We're going
And we'll
in.
see the recon start to go up. And they're getting hits on us, but they're not doing any kills. Oh, they got 1 kill there.
Run!
Right, and we actually got 1 kill back on them as well, but we got up to 400 recon now. And there's a lot more forces here than what we had originally thought. So there actually was some forces up that way. Now, when you're fighting with small arms in a city like this, we're not doing any real damage to the actual city itself. There's no messages showing up in through here. And as you can see there, we actually ended up doing better with the Supreme Headquarters and Operational HQ. They actually lend more support to what was going on. That was a pretty cheap result, really, for what we actually, we're trying to actually then go and do. We now know exactly what we're dealing with. There may be, if we go to detail or textual, there may be some drops in readiness, yeah. So the Defender went from 100 to 94. Experience went up, though. So there's hardly any real big bonus, but except that the entrenchment, actually, we dislodged some of their entrenchment in through here, which is actually, that's fairly big. That's fairly big in through there. Let's just go back to graphic, and we'll just click on OK. So we now see much bigger numbers than what were there before. So there's now a lot more in here than what we originally thought. And so now if we go in with the tanks again and have a look, we can see that the odds are much, much less than what we had seen there before. 1-to-1 essentially with what we're doing through this side. Now, you can see there that their entrenchment modifiers are down a lot. Their readiness has dropped a little bit, so they've now dropped this one a little bit as well. If I grab the other one, it's still only a 1-to-1. Which is not really good enough. I'm going to cancel this. Let's just try. This one's now out of action points completely. Let's try across the river here. But 2.7-to-1 against just this one unit. Now this has got a 52 recon points as well. I think that we're going to have a better chance. This one's got better, it's dug in at a better rate. I think we try to dislodge this one fairly quickly. Let's just do this one. Now, they may get lucky. No, we've got some good hits there already.
Mission completed.
Great. We did it in about 4 rounds. Now, I wish it would show you how many rounds it was. If you just go to the text, we can sort of see initial. That's all okay. Our readiness dropped a little bit overall. The morale went up. So everything sort of, that was a good result. We'll just click on OK. Whoops, I should have changed that one back. Now, unfortunately, I do get another attack through here this time, but I can only do it with this one group, and this is the old group, which we don't really want to be doing. But we no longer have that negative. We have a little bit of a negative in through here because we've got a negative 25 for attacking into the agricultural land with the blitzers, but nothing sort of too bad. Now we have a problem with this road. So what are we going to do here? Let's go across. We're going to have to try to now keep this open. We've got even more that we now need to try to control. Let's start over here and reshuffle to try to keep all of this open if we can. And then we'll come back in. Move this one up. That just protects that a little bit, and it means that we still have to get somebody back up into here. Let's just do that. They may be able to still break through into here a little bit. Is there anyone that we can bring down? I might just bring this one down onto the road, just to sort of keep things safe there. Bring those through, and we'll bring this one up as well, because we don't know exactly where anything's going to be breaking through at this point in time. They're going to be trying to cut this road off one way or another. Now, we want to just keep moving up. Got more militia here. I might even move this militia down. What I'm thinking is if I press the L key, we've got logistics that run all the way to here. We now have enough to almost build a full OHQ, but I want to put it in such a position where it's going to be, I don't want it to be, these to be exposed to it, to be honest. I prefer this group to be exposed to it. So let's go and move that one to there, this one to here. That one's not really all that good. We'll just pop that one. I'll keep that one where that is. Move them across, and we'll get another infantry group in through here. So we'll just go and raise a formation at this location. In fact, I might move that one up to there, just so we've got like a bit extra in that area. And so at this location here, yep, that's okay where we are. Let's just go and raise a formation. So OHQ, brigade level. We've nearly got 100% there, which will be fine. Let's just get a light infantry brigade. We don't want guards, we only want riflemen. So, in fact, this one here, we're at 65% with the items, so we don't quite have the industrial points. These require a lot more industrial points because of the better equipment, but that's going to be okay. We'll just raise that formation. And so we've now got a new group in through there, and they're coming with pretty poor readiness. So these are a bit susceptible, but with so many of them there, it's not going to really worry them. So they're going to be fine in that location. Then we can start to sort of use these to then protect the road a little bit more effectively. Very important that we do that. Okay, let's continue on. We're out of time again. But is there anything that we want to be focusing on? I think I'm going to keep this going until we can take Altona. So we've done everything else we need to do now. One thing we were talking about doing was actually bringing in the Economic Council. So I think we actually go and do that one now. So what we do is we go back to our management screen, any which way that you can get hold of your secretary. So click on the secretary. Call him up, and he's got a whole lot of different things. You can relieve him, you can set your national budgets whenever you feel like it. We can create a new organisation, which is what we want to do. We can sort out our salaries. I might do that as well as doing the other bits as well. So let's go and do the salaries, plus we can resign. So we can relieve him, but we can also resign and lose the game if we wanted to. Just go to new organisation down through there. All right, so we've now got two different things that he's now asking us. Now, what we want to do through here is get the Economic Council. So I'm going to go and add that one to the list. And set salaries for your leaders. Now, there's a few things in through here. Our soldier salary is currently on 0. Let's just go and add that to 1, which doesn't really have a big bearing. And I'm going to give him some salary as well. He starts off with 0. I don't know why they start off with 0. I think they should be starting off with at least 1 each like this. Everything else is okay, so we'll now just go and say confirm. And that's now been done as well. No more decisions to be made, so everything is now working fairly well. Yep, and so we'll now have more that we'll be then able to sort of spread across. This one will be in a position to do an attack. I think the danger for us really is this point here with this attacking to the south. Let's just end the turn. And then we should get Altona this coming turn. We'll have another look at the way that we can sort of then operate around. Actually, yeah, they're coming in. They're trying to get to a position where they can put more pressure on. Interesting. Yeah, it did attack, but it did lost 500 itself. That's good. The combat armour is really making a big difference. Okay, we killed 500 infantry. That's good. Okay, we found the helicopter engine, which we're not really looking for just yet. We've got a recruit civilian, which has come just at the right time, and another recruit junior. Treasury is now down to dangerous levels. Low leader relation. Crux Lennon, who is at 48%, which is not great. Leave that one where that is. Now, all we have to do is just break into this city. Now, we've left this one enough. We're at 84 through there, and we're at 87. Now, we didn't quite get all of the supply that we wanted. There's no road that leads across this way, so we've had to sort of ship the supplies across that river, and that has been a bit difficult. But the road is now currently open. So you can sort of see if I press number 1, we've got supplies up until that point, and then it sort of dwindles off after here because we're now just trying to sort of ship across this location. And rivers do slow down your supply if there's no road and bridge network across here. So Altona is really what our target is, which we're going to be sort of targeting right now. So I'm just going to go back to press number 1 again. Now we do actually have just those other units back in there. We're down to 64 recon again. I think that we'll go back in. Now, we've got another group that we haven't seen before, Absorption Chrysalis. This is a Christworm. This is a land-dwelling 1-metre herbivore, resembles a worm analogue. Again, very, very weak. Once we get armoured cars, we're going to be pretty good. And we should actually have them this turn. Let's have a quick look. New Director for the Economic Council. I really don't have anyone that's really all that great, to be honest. At this point in time, I might just have a look at the strat cards. Just go to Nation. Got 2 juniors that I can bring in, which we may get lucky. There's a civilian as well. Like let's just bring the civilian in because we're going to need someone in charge of the city as well once we actually take the city. So we'll execute this one. We don't want to have too many in the reserve pool, and we'll have a quick look to see who we've actually now got. Cap 2. Good intelligence. She's better than the others, actually, with what we need here. So I think we'll put her into the Economic Council. So yeah, she can sort of do that one. I think. I don't think Michael was. Actually, Michael had good intelligence as well. He's got better actually overall intelligence, but she had better overall skills. 13, but it's not much. Not much. I think we'll actually leave her for the city and put Michael into that particular council. So we'll just get rid of those. Go back to the decisions. So we're just going to dismiss one of these guys.
Roger that.
Yep. So that's okay. We lose a little bit of support for the group that he's in, that purple group. Maggie, sorry Maggie, you'll be given a job fairly soon. And I'm going to, even though she had a suitability of 22, I'm going to appoint Michael.
Yes, sir. Roger that.
He's not a great person to put in here, to be honest, so we probably have to get rid of him at some other point. Model Design Council, the priorities are exactly the way I want them at this stage, so no changes there. I won't be changing that at all during the game. And the Economic Council task priorities. So what we want to have them to here is to have pretty much prospecting. We want that to go up a little bit. Now, we'll find things anyway. I don't need to do that one too much. The economic policies, I can bring that one sort of down to maybe sort of like 5% because we've really got economic policies are now being handled by the Interior Council. Research, we want good discovery. So I might bring the discovery up to say 45, just so we can sort of find things. Research and prospecting, I'll keep that one down to say 20 and 30, or maybe 25 each. Let's just do it this way.
Yes,
Confirm.
sir. Roger that, sir.
Done. And then we've got a new commander for the third light. Now, it really doesn't matter who we put in here. Ishmael in through this side. What's he got? He's a Cap 2. He's got high command skills. He does have infantry tactics as well. Tank tactics, Sixth Sense. He's not bad. And we've also got Ingmar, who doesn't have the same sort of skill set. So we'll bring Ishmael in. He's a Cap 2. Yeah, Cap 2s are okay for this.
Roger that.
All right, so that one's in there. So that's now all of those particulars that have now been done. We now actually have, again, this other objective in through this side. So what we can do is we can actually now just go in and start the process of trying to attack this. I can bring in these different... You can see now that we're attacking... I'm going to attack with all of these. This will just help a little bit with this particular attack. We've got everyone ready to go. They're right next to the actual place itself. In fact, if we go and have another look at this, if I just go and attack with this one, you'll see that we've got It's only the negative 25 because we're attacking with the blitzers across into a landscape that they're not really suitable for. But it's still okay. That's still fine where we actually are. Even just that is 13 to 1 odds. But we don't know exactly, like, again, there's going to be more units in there than we think. Add that one in, we've got 22s. Add that one in there, we get a few extras in through this side. You can see there that by going in with the mixed of the riflemen have no modifiers, and they do actually have, like the rifleman got negative 60 for crossing the river, but there's no modifier there for the blitzers going across. We also get a slight concentric bonus of plus 10%, so that sort of almost mitigates this. Now, if I attacked from here, I'd go up even more. So the more angles that I attack from, the more concentric bonuses I can actually then go and get. Now, these don't have great, from what we can sort of see through here, they're not doing all that well. Let's just do the attack. We may lose a few of these guys.
Yes, sir. We're going in.
Just go graphic. There we go. We're smashing them this time. Thanks for rolling them.
Mission completed.
And we lost nothing, actually, with that one. Now, what you'll see through here is we now actually have 8 messages. Because we actually did, like we went in with the tanks, we did a lot of damages to the assets in the actual location. So everything has now taken some damage with what we've actually then gone and done. But this is great. Nothing is actually being killed off. It generally takes about 200 points before they're inoperable, and then another 200 on top of that before they start to sort of then disappear, like completely, where you can destroy them. And if we had have kept on attacking with tanks, then yeah, you can actually decimate the city. This isn't too bad for what we had to then go and do. Just click on OK. All right, so we now move into Altona. This one can just move in. These won't move around too much. What I do want to do is I now want to move back out to re-establish where we want the tanks. We want the tanks back out this way. Oh, there's another one of these horse things. Might just move that one back into there in that case. And we'll move this one back up into here. And then we've got these different units. We want these. These won't play a role. They'll be gone next turn. So we'll leave that one where that is. Move that one up. Move that one up as well. And we're going to end up with a lot of territory back in through here. So all of these incursions that they did are going to be gone, and we're going to then control all of their territory in the next turn. So we now need to start to focus on pushing this one back, which we can do with the tanks ultimately. I can even do this one right now, where it's a 1 to 6, which is not great. So we might just leave that one alone for a turn or so, but then we'll have to sort of come back in and deal with that one. Anyway, we've now taken the town. In the next turn, we'll then actually have someone that can then come in and actually deal with the town. Everything else is looking pretty reasonable there. I still don't think we can actually do much in terms of getting the guards units. I'm not sure if we can do a mass upgrade with everyone in the same OHQ to riflemen. Just see if we can actually do any of these. How many can we afford? We've got 112. And we just need to get that one down to there, so it's under 112. Just do a mass upgrade. We're trying to do 18.
Yes, sir.
And we did do it in 3 units. Okay, so we didn't get everything, but we got a few. So we're down to practically nothing in terms of our industrial points. But we have started to sort of now get, in fact, that one didn't. If that one did get the rifleman, a few of the others will get riflemen as well. So we'll start to sort of slowly build these up. These ones out here won't have. They're still going to be the old guards units. That one's probably going to be guards, and I think there's another one in here which is still guards as well from the other red force. We're going to now need to move this one back. So we're going to need to start to now that we've got this next city, we can now start to sort of really work on our economy again, which we'll do in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I will catch you then.